Welcome back, episode 16.
Hey.
It's been a while.
Yes. And we have a guest today.
We do in the building. The very, very lovely and funny Shauna Lane.
Yay.
Welcome.
Shauna Lane, you are
Thanks
a
for having
comedian, actress. We've known you a while. I think I've known you 6 years since I started comedy.
Yeah. I used to have a podcast.
Tell me right off, just a little icebreaker. We're not going to, what's that?
I used to have a podcast too.
You used to have a podcast?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
What was it called?
The Gone Girls.
Oh, yes, I remember that. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that seems like a long time ago, right?
Well,
But that was only a few
it's
years
been
ago.
4 years since we've stopped doing it. So,
So right off the bat, tell me why you won't do a comedy show with a Caribbean person. Just curious, real quick. Why you have against Caribbeans? Just trying to break the ice here. All right. Should gay people be allowed to do comedy? What do you think? Should it be legal for them
I
to
feel
vote
like
and do
only gay people should be allowed to do comedy.
That's pretty well the question.
If I can make the producer smirk, I know I'm doing a good job. It was
told me
literally
he was
written right
gonna-
here. Look, should gay?
He told me he was going to
almost
ask those questions. I was like, okay, he bullshitting.
Somebody in my day job almost looked over my shoulder. Should gay people be allowed to do comedy? What the? I was like, whoa, no.
Wow.
They can do comedy and vote,
They can vote too.
get married.
Tell us
whatever.
about your comedy. We want to know all about how you got started. We have lots of questions. Where should we start? How did you know you wanted to be a comedian?
Okay, I'm just going to, but before you ask that, I'm just going to say, because I said,
Yes.
what are we going to do on the podcast? And you
Okay.
said, we're going to ask you about, how you started comedy, whatever. And
Yeah.
I was like, because I just really never know what's going to happen when I'm with actors, performers, whatever. And I was like, this is probably going to be one of those things where we don't talk about me at all. You know what I mean?
No, it's all about
like-
you.
Because Alex was late.
Yes,
White people, I don't know what's going on.
we're
with y'all.
always late.
It's getting switched around.
We were talking about, we have a shared experience because I told her my first mic
that's right.
was Tuesday Night Trainwreck,
Yep.
right, with Joey Gay,
Yep, and
Damien San Marco.
Give us a year. What year?
2004.
And
Yes.
you knew that, Mike?
I went to it all the time.
So that's
and
when you guys know
lived-
each other?
No,
And-
we don't know.
Oh, you not at the same time. Gotcha.
Oh, I mean, it's quite possible that we
Yeah.
did it at the same time,
Okay.
but we had no
idea, maybe.
No idea. I was drinking and drugging a lot then,
Yes.
so even
you are
if
sober now.
I am sober,
How long are you sober?
15 years.
Wow, 15 years
Thank
sober.
you.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Do you have like chips? There's like a chip.
You know what?
They
I
give you
have
something?
drugs in
Oh,
my
nice.
edibles
Nice.
for everybody.
I remember there was a guy, they used to call him the professor, it was a black guy. That's what I remember. I remember there was one lady, I can't remember her name at all, she was touring. And I had just gone up and she was talking about the stuff she liked. She was like, I like this. She's like, the guy with the accent, I love him. I was like, okay, cool. You know who was in that? Who used to come to that mic? Jordan Carlos.
Yes, I'm friends with Jordan Carlos.
Yeah, he used to come to that mic. I think
Yeah.
Michelle Buteau as well.
Yep.
Tell the crowd, tell the audience, who is Jordan Carlos and Michelle
John's
Buteau?
working comics.
Working
man.
comics now
yeah,
today.
Yeah. Michelle Buteau
Okay.
has a show on Netflix.
I mean, she's a working actress.
yeah, actress
too.
as well.
Oh.
I used to see her.
Survival of the thickest.
I used to see her in Brooklyn because I had told my
She
then
lives in
coworker
Brooklyn also.
that this was like even before 2004 when I started because they would take me to shows in Brooklyn and I was like, okay, so this is what comedy is because I used to see her all around the city.
Yeah.
It's funny, even though I wasn't in with like a comedy crew, I would see people.
Yeah.
Because I did. There was something called Otto's Shrunken Head.
Oh yeah, I
It's
did
still
all
there.
those.
It's still there,
Yeah.
right?
But
Or did it go
Josh
under?
Filipowski used to host it.
Oh yes.
And he told me, he's like, stick with me, you're going to go far. One time he even let me host a couple of times. And I brought up Michelle Buteau, which is interesting, funny. No, not interesting, like, oh my God, no. I'm just saying interesting that I got from just starting to, you hosting and bringing up people, which was cool.
So you dabbled, you got in it, but then you went in and out of it and dabbled.
Yeah.
What year was that?
2004.
2000. When did you start comedy?
So, okay, I moved to New York City in 1998,
Where did you move from?
Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up
Okay.
in Connecticut.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
And So I moved in 1998, the end of August 1998, and I got a job at Caroline's on Broadway,
Okay.
cocktailing.
Yeah.
And I moved to the city to be a dancer and an actress, and I really wanted to do musicals. That was what I wanted to do. Like, yeah, I'm not a good singer.
Okay.
I'm a decent dancer, but like, it became apparent to me very quickly as I was going to auditions that I was only ever going to be in the chorus.
Okay.
If I got lucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to be in the chorus. I want to be the star. Fuck this.
So did you want to be a comedian? Did you know you wanted
No,
to?
I
This
know.
is right now where we are is we're in 1998. You had no idea you wanted to be a comedian.
I never wanted to be a comedian. I was always funny.
Even when you were a little kid, never was in the
No.
back of your.
No,
Okay.
never. I was always funny. I was always the one that made my friends laugh. I always made my family laugh. I was a funny person too.
Yeah.
So I was funny, like I was weird in the head, and I always was. I mean, I was always making jokes and doing stuff, and I was always making people laugh. But it never occurred to me to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Before I moved to the city, when I was living in East Haven, Connecticut, with my boyfriend, I did a public access show called Cooking with Shauna, because I was like, I just need to do something where I get to be myself, where I
Okay.
get to be funny.
Because you cook, or just you wanted to do?
I love cooking.
Talk to us.
Yes.
Okay, so you're
yes,
a good
I
cook.
love a great cook. I've always
Okay.
loved cooking.
I think you posted stuff online.
Yes.
Baking. You're a baker or more of a cook
Both.
or a chef?
Baking,
Both?
cook, yeah.
You Italian?
No.
What's
No one
your-
has ever asked me if I was Italian.
See,
It's
when
hilarious.
me and Dave come from a time, where you can go up to somebody and be like, what are you?
Yeah.
Now, if you say that, you're like, whoa, that's racist.
Hold on.
No.
What do you mean?
We used to just be like,
Wouldn't that be funny if I was like, are you Italian?
right now you got to make it seem like it's their idea to
Yeah,
ask them,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can't just be like, hey, what are you?
No,
Okay,
I'm
so
laughing because
if you
I
had
don't
to-
think I look remotely Italian.
Are you Italian?
No, I'm not even.
Okay, hold on. I'm really confused right now.
Wait a minute.
So now it's obvious she's German.
Are you a wasp because
you're from
German.
Connecticut?
She's
Wasp?
German.
I am German. I'm
see-
Irish.
Really?
Oh, you're a wasp.
Yes. I'm,
No.
I don't know what that means
White
exactly.
White
Anglo-Saxon
Protestant?
Protestant.
No,
Or
I
from
was raised
people that-
Catholic.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a Taoist now, if you really want to know my
what?
religion. Taoist.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tao Te Ching. It doesn't matter. No one ever knows what the. Can we
Is that
curse?
the Uber vegans? Dallas? Are they like super vegan? No.
Oh.
You're
Yes,
laughing.
except we can eat chicken.
No, I'm
No.
confusing it with with another group. There's an offshoot of Indians that live in Jersey City that have a similar name to Dow. It must not be Dow. Where they cannot. They are so. Listen, there's vegan, and they're that offshoot. They don't even eat plants from the ground because you're harming the earthworms. So they can't eat root vegetables. You're literally like a goat. You eat
can't
the
eat
diet
root
of a goat.
vegetables.
Do you donate to feed them? Or no?
I don't know what it is, but
So,
they make
okay.
vegans look like they're
Okay.
1998. You
Okay, back to what
singing,
you were saying.
dancing. So
Yes.
where
I
did you-
moved to the city. I get
Right.
the job at Caroline's on
Right.
Broadway. And my boyfriend at the time was like, you should do stand-up comedy. He
Okay.
kept telling me I should do comedy.
Okay.
And I was like, nah. And then I got the job at Caroline's, and I am not kidding you. Like the second night I was working there, Damon Wayans was there.
Oh,
And
1998?
yes, and I was
Wow.
like, I'm not kidding you. I was like, Damon Wayans is here from In Living Color.
Wait,
Like,
was the Living Color canceled already? Yeah, but
No,
it was still
was it?
fresh, right? With everybody.
It was still fresh.
either way, he was huge.
Oh my God, he's huge.
And he was like super good looking in real life, and I was like, and everyone I worked with was like, take it down a notch, act cool. Anyway, he was on stage. He was being funny, but he was getting a divorce, and he was really sad. And he stayed on stage for way too long, and eventually he walked like half the
crowd.
audience. Yes, like people just were finally
Whoa.
like.
He was just
okay.
depressed and he was just kept going on.
Yeah, he was just sitting on the stool
Ooh.
talking about being a depressed.
And you're out there like, you're really good looking now.
No, my star meter faded as he and then afterwards he asked me to go out with him.
Ooh.
I know, and
He
I
hit
was
on the
like,
waitress.
he hit on the waitress, and I was like, well, I had a boyfriend, but
That's
having-
Homie the Clown. You could have dated Homie the Clown.
yeah, okay.
You know the
Homie
homie?
the Clown.
You know
A
homie?
sad, literally, he was a sad clown. I was like,
That was Jungle Fever, by the way. That's right.
I know exactly what that was, what you guys were singing to. Okay. I may be
Anyway.
an immigrant, but I'm not an idiot.
okay.
I love Living Color. That was like my favorite show.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
it
the
was
Fly
by
Girls.
far.
Okay,
Anyway,
anyway,
yeah.
so I realized after watching him and like maybe 2 or 3 other comedians, I was like, oh, I could do this. I could do
Okay.
stand-up. Do you know who Tom Shalhoub is by any chance? He's,
Tony Shalhoub?
No.
No.
Tom Shalhoub? I
Tom
thought you said
Shalhoub.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. Monk.
I'm just like the confused immigrant here. Tony Shalhoub? Yes. What?
Monk. We like Monk. We drink we watch every night, eat tea biscuits, drink
Thumbs?
tea.
You said thumbs?
Anyway, he walked me to the
Okay.
train and he was like, oh,
Okay.
you're new here in the city. Are you here to do stand-up? And I was like, no. And he was like, I give it 30 days and
So
you're
wait.
going to be doing stand-up.
Sorry, time out. I'm going to ask. Stop.
Not Damon,
who
but
is
Tom.
Who is it though? Who is it though?
Are we
Tom?
really stopping?
No.
Oh.
But who is Tom?
Tom Shalhoub. I think he's a political comedian now, but anyway, he was
Oh, so he's
just
still around.
We could get
Yeah,
him on
he's-
the old
yeah.
Google and just
All
give
right.
Yes.
us
Producer's
give
gonna
us
look
he's
him up.
definitely around still. Nice guy. And he was right. Like I was like, did you read Amy Schumer's book by any
No.
chance? Anyway, she talks about stand up. She's like, and you know, I saw people
this guy.
doing stand up, and she said, and you know, I think like every other asshole who sees stand up, I can do that, which is
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, oh, I was that asshole. I was like, oh, I could do that. So then we took a trip to LA, and no, wait, what happened? No. So then I went and I tried an open mic. Like, I think it was still 1998. I did an open mic downtown. It's called Suddenly Stand Up, and it's still there, Poppy Kramer. The mic was over, actually, and I had written a couple jokes in a napkin, and my boyfriend and a door guy from Caroline's, we all drove downtown together, and she was like, the mic is over, but, why don't you get up and you can still try anyway, which was
Really?
nice. Yeah, and it was literally those 2 guys and her behind the bar, and I tried it, and I liked it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I liked the writing aspect of it.
So there's people that are watching this. I know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
What makes a person try stand up? That's what I was. So
A
you
bad
sat
childhood
there,
is a
but-
good starter.
No, I mean, no, I mean like you're in the crowd, and for me, I started it because I've always wanted to, but I had no confidence I could. But I started. I went to an open mic at Lucy's that first time in 2000, like mid 2018, and I just when I told Bill Cannon, who was hosting it, I just want to watch, and he goes, all right, but if you want to go up, let me know. And I didn't go up that night. Or I did actually. But what made me want to try it is as soon as I saw that people are some people are bombing, some people doing good, some people not so good, some people really good. I'm like, okay, I could try this. I'm probably not gonna bomb.
Yeah.
I needed to see it.
Yeah.
How did you know you wanted to try stand up? You watched people at Caroline's and you really thought it's not that hard?
I
Or-
just thought, okay, these people are being who they are, which is funny people, and
Okay.
they've written jokes. And that was like what I've been doing my whole life to make people laugh. I just was doing that for free. And I was
So now
like,
you're like, I could try it.
yeah, I can try it. So I tried it,
Yeah.
which I always tell people when they want to do comedy. I say, just try it because you might not like it, because I've definitely seen people
Yeah.
try it and bomb. And it's very painful and awful. And you're like, just don't take a million classes. Just get up on stage and try it first.
I like to go up to them after they go up, those people, and I like to tell them, you did pretty good.
No,
You did
yeah,
really
yeah,
good. He was making fun of me because if somebody bombs and they go and they're talking to me after their set, I'm always like, no, you did pretty good. I just can't.
I'm behind him going.
And David would just say nothing. I don't think he'll say anything bad.
No,
Nobody
well,
ever
yeah.
asked you how he did.
No, don't ask me.
I mean, if they bombed and they loved it, though, that's great to be like, you did a great job. If they bombed and they hated it and it was torture for them, I don't think it's good to encourage that.
But you're honest, and have you had comedians come up to you and go, "How I do?" And they when they bombed, and did you say to them?
If they're a real
I
comic,
said-
they know when they
if-
bombed.
Yeah.
They
and-
know
and
they suck.
then I tell them if that happens, I
opinion.
said, you gotta stick with it. If you really like it, I said, and I always my favorite line. This is part of it.
Yeah.
I said, this is part of it. So you got now. What do you do?
Yeah.
Because 1998, all that time, I wanted to try it because like I kind of found my American voice. I kind of fit in because I know I was born here, right? I was born in America, but I was raised in Barbados, right? And I didn't know how to fit in quite well at college because I got my folks telling me, yeah, you're American. I'm like, yeah, but you hear what I talk like? You know what I mean? And then people that hear me go, oh, this is the West Indian guy. So I'm like, what am I really? You know what I mean? But finally, when I joined the Caribbean Students Association at school, and then it hit me. I'm an American-born Caribbean guy. Then I felt comfortable with who I was.
Oh, and then you felt comfortable to go on stage.
So not even on stage, just being.
Yes.
So then
Right.
everybody around me, because I would come up with some off the wall stuff, everybody would be laughing. I'd say it in a funny accent, many different accents.
You're always
Jamaican,
funny guy.
Jamaican. At the point, Jamaican dude used to look at me like, how are you sounding like us and you're not from here, right? And same thing. And I was like, all right, Guyanese guys. Same thing. I started to do more, and then I was like, then they said to me, you need to go do stand up. Oh my God, you need to do stand up. They told me that year after year, and I was like, yeah. And in 2000, I went to Boston Comedy Club, a Sunday night, because one guy said to me, he said,
Boston Comedy
he said,
Club,
fine.
right.
He's like, nah. He's like, no. Meet me Sunday. You gotta at least go see what it is. You know, Talent Harris. He was hosting, right?
Maybe? I don't remember.
And Talent was known as a roaster. He gets in the audience. It's
Yeah.
So they had this thing called New Jack Night.
Wait, when was this? In 2000?
This was 2000.
Oh, wow.
And New Jack Night, you got people that got up and the jokes were not. Oh man, then he would
It's
come
painful.
on.
Watching
and he
new
would,
comedy can be
he
so
would make
painful.
fun of them. He would make fun of it because I remember I wore it because it was really cold. I wore a turtleneck. He's like, "Hey, the brother in the turtleneck, he's not even laughing." He's like,
Turtleneck is so
he's like,
bad.
He was like,
Turtlenecks are the
he's
worst.
Like, he's like the turtleneck is intimidating. He's like, and he was on. I was like, oh man, he had the audience rolling, and I was like, man, these guys ate ass up there. I don't want to eat ass, right?
Yeah, it's
And then I
embarrassing.
said, okay, maybe it's not for me.
You know, I'm telling you, a lot
But
of people have the similar stories like this.
It never freaking went away.
So what never went away?
Wanting to do it.
Oh,
never.
okay.
So when
Right.
I thought,
I
all
know
right,
you
was
get
done,
bit by the bug, and that's what
right.
happened to me that night.
Yeah.
I got bit by the bug. I was like, oh,
and I didn't even started yet.
because when you're doing acting, I was getting like some free play. I was auditioning around the city. I was taking classes.
Where'd
but
you
it
take
was-
acting classes?
I was studying with a woman named Carol Fox Prescott, and it was based on the breath. That was the acting technique. Was
The
based
breath.
the breath.
So not standard method.
Definitely no method. I mean, it's very effective.
Okay.
And however, it was difficult to, without her direction, do it in auditions. Anyway, and it was hard to just book enough work that I could get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so then with stand up, I was like, oh, I can get on stage a lot. Like I can get on stage
That's
a
the
lot.
beauty of stand-up, yeah.
Yeah. And write, which I was always a writer. So, so then I just started doing tons of shows. Yeah.
in the city.
In the city, all the time.
You Colin Quinn had a show in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was
right?
on. I
So
was on
are
that
you-
show.
How did that happen? Tell us how that went
Tell us
about.
about it.
Okay, so I
Because Alex opened up for Colin Quinn. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and you
that
had a
was
good
March.
experience.
Had a
Yeah.
great experience. He was a great guy. And I mentioned Shauna.
Yeah.
I mentioned you.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah, Shauna Lane. Yeah. He goes, yeah. He remembered you.
Yeah.
I said your
Shauna.
last name. He's just, oh yeah, Shauna. But he's not the type of guy to lie if he doesn't know. He immediately started talking. It's been a while, but he said something about what
Well, because I
he mentioned
did.
you. Yeah.
Well, all right. So
Shauna really knows him like
yes.
buddies.
She knows him.
Throw that in
yeah,
his
no,
face.
I
went to
don't
go
know
to
him.
the
No
film.
one
No,
like
I'm
that.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
We made out once. No, we didn't. We didn't. I made out with plenty of comics, but not him. No. Anyway,
Well, we're going to get to those questions. in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God.
Anyway, because I was working at Caroline's,
Right.
I was meeting tons of comedians, but I also was going downtown and doing lots of shows downtown. I mean, I was just all over the place because I could be, you know. I was out every night. Oh yeah, the boyfriend I moved to the city with broke up with me, and that opened up a lot of time. So he dumped my ass, and I was sad from the breakup, and then also, I mean, which is an amazing catalyst to do comedy, is to have
To be sad.
to be sad.
Material.
And I just was out every night doing 3-4 shows a night, and
Really?
yeah. And then I got a little bit of industry interest in me. I was very offbeat, and I was into the alternative sort of comedy.
Okay.
I mean, nobody really knew what to do with me because
Is
I
that
looked.
the beginning of like the alt scene? in comedy?
I think it
don't
was
know much-
already.
A lot of people are confused about alt comedy. So real quick, what is it? What is it? How
Who
you
the fuck
define
knows?
it?
I don't even know. I don't
Yeah.
know. All I know is I thought when I was like, because I was working Caroline's and seeing all these traditional
Right.
comedians, I
Right.
was like, I know, I'm going to do something different.
Right.
Right?
okay.
Which, is probably not the greatest choice to think of what to do. So I would do these things where I would just stand on stage and I would just talk and talk and talk and talk, and people would laugh and they wouldn't know why. And then whatever, there was a show downtown called Eating It,
Okay.
and Jeff Singer and Naomi Steinberg, they did that show, and they worked at Comedy Central. And this is when Comedy Central was sort of a big deal. And I had friends who I was doing comedy with that were also working at Comedy Central. And then also Louis Ferranda, who was the general manager at Caroline's, took a liking to me and he let me do a show there at Caroline's, and he was having me audition for things. Anyway, so through all these different connections, I was getting auditions and stuff.
And how long did that last? Like, this started, this is what you're saying now, everything you're saying now, what year is this about?
Okay, so now at
Now
this
we're in what
point,
year?
I would say around 2002.
So this is about 4 years in, you're doing shows.
Oh
doing
no,
good.
1998. I would say 99, 2000. Yeah, okay, 3 years in.
Three, 4 years in.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
doing tons of stuff.
Okay.
Totally producing shows at Caroline's and downtown. Just totally working it. And then they asked me to audition for Colin Quinn for a sketch. Another. I was also at this point
For Tough
actually
Crowd, right?
for Tough Crowd, yes. And at this point, I had left Caroline's and I was waitressing at. Actually, maybe this is 2000. This is 2003. This is beginning of 2003. I was working at New York Comedy Club, the one owned by Al Martin, not the one owned by Emilio Savone.
New York
Now.
Comedy Club, is that the one that's now also in Connecticut or no?
Yes,
Different one?
that's the one in Stamford. But this
Okay.
was the original New York Comedy Club owned by Al Martin, and it was on 24th Street. And it was a hole in the wall. There was a hallway that they also would have comedy in. Not even kidding. And but it was great. Tons of comedian, like great people. I mean, it was very much like what comedy clubs, like if they weren't nice, they were like shitty back then. You know what I mean? In the city. Anyway, I was Lori Kilmartin, who was a writer for Tough Crowd, was always there doing comedy, and she would see me because I would wait on
Doing
tables.
regular shows? She would see you doing regular shows?
She was doing regular shows. And when you worked for Al, he wouldn't pay you. You get to wait on tables and get the tips, but he would give you stage time. So what I would do is, I'm not even kidding, I would wait on people, right? I would collect the money, whatever, make them get a 2-drink minimum, and then at the end of the show I would get on stage and perform. And I would do this. So that was another way that I was seeing tons
Hustle.
of people.
What a
and
racket.
Hustle.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I always said it was so funny because people would be so fucking mean to me as a waitress.
Yeah.
They would be so mean. Well, I was
And
making
then all
them
of a
get
sudden
it.
you get on stage.
And they would be so nice. Then they would be so nice. They'd be like, that was great. And I was like, you were so mean to me a half an hour ago.
He's like, thanks, dick.
So anyway, Lori saw me at New York Comedy Club and had me come in for the audition, I think.
Okay,
Or no, she wrote the sketch. I don't know. And her and Jeff called me in.
And who was at the audition?
Jeff was at the audition and Lori. And
Colin? Or no?
no, Colin wasn't at the audition. And this particular sketch was where I would have to slap Jim Norton.
Okay.
And and apparently what was happening was the other, I don't know why this was happening, the other actresses, comedians, Jeff was the one doing the reading. And he was like, they're hitting me so hard. Please don't hit me that hard.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were trained actresses,
Right.
really. And at this point,
Pause.
yeah.
When she said Jeff Norton, why did you go like this?
No, not Jeff Norton.
I didn't do that.
Jim
Nah,
Norton.
get out of
You went
here.
like this.
Jim
Nope.
Norton.
Jim Norton, you went.
Jeff Singer.
No.
No?
You,
What'd you do?
you know he's trying to do.
I'm not trying to do nothing. I saw you make a face.
What?
Maybe we know each other. We're like brothers. We know each other's faces. So maybe I'm reading into it too deep. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. So get back to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
you have the
Okay.
audition.
So he didn't
Yes.
want you to slap him in the face.
Yeah.
Hard,
So
hard,
anyway,
at
so this particular was for this sketch, I had to be, or whoever was going to get the part had to be like sweet and innocent, and then like sort of like a bondage girl, which is how the sketch turned. Anyway, and I was able to do it, and also not slap him hard in the face. Anyway, I booked it.
Yeah.
and it was great. It went viral. Like,
And the irony is, at the end of that audition, Jim Norton whispered in her ear, "One day I'm going to marry a trans woman." And she was like, "What?" He's like, "You'll know." And then Alex is going to mention it in a podcast 25 years later. I just had to mention
is
that.
she trans? His wife?
Yes.
He married a trans woman.
Yeah.
He used to
From
be
from
married.
like from like
I know.
from like
I know. It's
from
crazy.
from
Did you
like-
know this? A lot of people don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
I love that. He's a sweetheart. I knew him anyway. Actually, we
I'm
dated.
sure he is.
We dated, which we dated.
You dated Jim Norton?
I dated Jim Norton. Listen,
Oh, cool.
my husband wanted to get tickets. He's going to be somewhere, Terrytown, maybe
Yes.
in November or something.
Yes,
and
I
Don
think
was
so.
like, "Should I get tickets?" And I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Well, because when I had cancer, Jim did my." I did a benefit at Caroline's, and he did the show because because then I did 2 other sketches
I heard
with
he's a
him
good dude.
on.
I heard he's a great dude.
Totally, such a sweetheart, and anyway, so we've stayed friendly over the years. And when I thought I was dying, he did the
I'm
show
glad
for
you're not
me.
dying. I'm glad
Thank
you're
you,
not
thank you.
'Cause I wouldn't have got to meet you.
Yeah, right. Or maybe the tail end, this version of me. Anyway, but so Dom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get tickets," and I was like, "Okay." And then he goes, would it be funny if I got the meet and greet tickets?" And I was like, no, it wouldn't be fucking funny. I'm not gonna pay to go meet Jim. I know him. I'm not doing that.
Oh my God.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
I
you
was
pay yourself
done.
online. Hi, I'm a big fan.
Hey, Sean. He's like,
Wouldn't that be so weird and awkward and
that would be-
uncomfortable? Like,
yeah.
and Don was like, "Oh, I thought it was funny," and I was like, "No, you didn't think it's funny. You want to do the meet and greet because you're a fan of his. He listens to his show all the time.
yeah.
He, Anyway,
Wow.
But that's cool.
So,
that
hold
you
on,
did that
did
for
you? So, did you have any interaction with Patrice O'Neill?
yeah, Patrice. Oh my God. Okay, you want to hear? Let's
Yeah.
see. So when I was at Caroline's waiting tables, Patrice was there, and one time I had one of those. Which he was so funny. I mean, he was so funny and such a sweetheart, and they were great friends. Jim and Patrice, and he was on Tough Crowd.
Yes.
I had one of those. Do you remember what Palm Pilots? Do you remember
Yes.
a Palm
Yes.
Pilot?
Yes, of course.
So I had a Palm Pilot, and Patrice took my Palm Pilot, and I was like, "Oh, what did you do?" And he goes, "Look to I don't know." He was like, "Look to March 30th. 30 days has to be anyway, whatever date it was." 2002, and I looked and it said "Get Head from Patrice." I put it in my Palm Pilot.
He put that in there?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, I suppose I should be offended, but that's funny to me. Flattered.
Damon Wayans talked to Patrice like she's really easy. She just put that in there.
No, I
That's
told
hilarious.
Damon Wayans I wasn't interested.
I know you shut him down. Yeah.
He was depressed. It was not.
Yeah. He was a homie the clown. You're like, okay. But he's from New York.
Hated it.
Yeah, he would have said hated it. She made me more sad.
Oh, man. You know, Patrice was the first comic I saw, big name comic I saw at Boston Comedy Club. It was actually the first time I went
Yeah.
to a comedy club. I said that to Colin, that he was the first big name
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw. He was there. So I hosted for Colin Quinn, and when I hosted, the first night when I brought him up, I did really good. The second night, I decided to say, all right, this guy is hilarious. And people are already starting to roar, he was coming up.
Yeah.
And I said, and he's the first guy I've ever seen, first big name comic I saw 24 years ago, long before I even got into stand up.
Yeah.
And he came up, and the first thing he said was, I love how Alex made it about him. Yeah. He's like, oh, look, this guy's funny, but let me tell you, he's the first guy I saw. And he just shit on it for like a good 2 minutes.
Brilliant.
He made it about him. I'm like, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize I was doing that.
Brilliant.
But so the Patrice I saw at Boston Comedy Club, and then I think they shut it down shortly after.
So this was like 2000 and.
This was 2006 I saw Patrice.
Oh, okay.
I think the Fat Black Pussycat is, or something next to it was where the Boston Comedy Club was.
Oh, really?
No,
That's what it was?
no, because
It was not across the street from the courts.
no, I don't think so.
No.
It was the next street over,
Yeah.
or I can't remember.
Okay.
No, because Boston Comedy Club was downstairs. The Fat Black Pussycat is all of that building.
So I have a question
Right.
to ask.
Right.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So you had to go downstairs.
To get to Boston.
Okay.
Or it was like steps down. It was definitely.
Can you describe the steps? Because it's really interesting for the
No, this is
podcast.
20,
Describe the way the
24,
steps look.
24 years ago. 24 years ago.
I have a question I need to ask.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Shauna.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to name names.
Yeah.
But if I was watching this, what would I ask? What would I want the host to ask? And I want to know what big name comics, like what you're saying, you don't give the name. You don't have to give their name. Did something really like assholey, were rude jerks,
Oh, that's not what I thought you were
or,
going to ask.
or real mean. Any mean? You don't have to say the name, but tell us what happened and just don't give the name. Anything?
Or tell the name
We had a
we
bad
can,
experience.
we
Like,
can
man, this
beep
guy,
it out.
well, this guy seemed really nice, and then, oh man, he was a real jerk, real a-hole.
Oh.
Oh, you got one? Like, good. You don't have to
No,
give us the
wait,
name,
no, but
obviously.
nobody's going to know who he is.
No, we don't want them to. It's not.
But no, but okay, listen.
Tell
I'm
us
going to
what
tell
I
you
wanna
something.
know
Okay,
who
no,
it
wait.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
People were really nice to me. I had a really, I think, unusual experience for a woman and just a person in comedy. I don't know exactly why. I felt very embraced by the comedy
nice
community.
person.
Hey, but you're
Really.
nice. You're nice. Very
You
nice.
are a good person. You realize that, right?
I would like to think it's because I'm so talented. I think that's what it is. People just saw me and were like, ah, no. I'm just
Listen,
kidding.
we
You're like, it's definitely not.
No, we were talking before, and Tim says that the show that we all did together with Matt Lopes was the best show he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was a good
Because I
show.
didn't.
You with the dog?
Yeah,
That was the dog one?
puppy
Oh, yeah,
one,
that
yeah.
was the dog. Okay.
I didn't know you, but when you were on, I was like, who is
Oh
this?
yeah, we didn't
was
really
like-
know each other that well either. And you kept going, "Wow, you were funny. That was
Yeah.
good. You were."
I was
funny."
like,
Oh, really? I did a backhanded compliment? Like, you were funny. I didn't expect that, but you were really funny.
because I
Jerk move.
but I was watching. I was like, damn, she's good. I better
Yeah.
not bomb. Is what
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Really?
Yes, I was like,
I mean, it was a great crowd. I mean,
I
it
was like, shit, she's good. You better not bomb.
So,
I asked you guys for a compliment and you delivered.
no, it was true. No, it was true.
So, do you have any stories? So, nobody was ever like mean?
I don't have any horror stories at
So,
all.
everything was good. That's
I
good.
think, honestly, I think because I was working at Caroline's, it wasn't, people weren't nice to me because I worked there. I just think it was like going in at a college level. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And people were happy to be there, you know?
And so, where did you see Patrice there? At
Caroline's,
Oh, he
yeah.
was there? Did you
Yeah.
ever see other names? Like, I'm just curious.
Rich
like Seinfeld,
Voss.
Louis, anything
Oh,
like that?
Seinfeld, 100%. I was there the night Rosie O'Donnell came out of the closet.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes, and everyone was like, we knew.
Yeah.
You're-
What gave it away? The Barney Rubble haircut, Rosie? Breaking news.
It was one of those things like being a Queen fan. Like somebody has this bit. It's not even my bit, but every straight man watched Queen in the '90s, and the '80s and '90s, going, "Oh, they're straight." Until we had to be told.
No,
Bill Burr talks about this.
For us, it was.
He's
it
running
was,
around with a diaper on stage with a
Nah.
handlebar mustache, and the name of the
Oh,
group
yeah.
is Queen. And we're like, no, he's probably straight, right?
For
Totally
us,
clueless.
For us, it was George. For us, it was George Michael and Boy George.
I was just going to say Wham.
Yeah, Boy
But
George
I
too. We're like,
actually-
oh, he's not gay.
I,
like,
I
oh,
was
they'll be
actually
saying that
surprised
because
by
I used to
that one.
love comma chameleon. He's like, oh, it's just part of it, whatever. But the song's good though. He's not gay, really.
He's got a necklace for an earring, but he's only on one side. But he's not gay.
colors
are like
my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Is that going to go on the green
Yes.
screen?
Yeah. Hurt you.
Anything you want.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite songs.
So no weird.
Oh, no, I don't have
So
any.
did
No.
you get a chance to?
I'm sure there was. I can't remember anything specifically. But I definitely wasn't having any kind of those bad experiences.
Okay. So did you
Okay.
perform in front of any names, or did you get a chance to maybe go on the road a couple times?
I definitely went on the road.
Yeah, where at?
Roger Paul, I think he still does road stuff, but at the time that was his business was going on the road. Yeah, I definitely went on the road. That was confusing to me.
Okay.
I did a bunch of places like around this that were you could get to from the trains, you know,
Okay,
bananas,
okay.
whatever. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like it. But then I did some road stuff, 2003, 4, where I went with other people, and that was more fun. I
Okay.
liked going as a group.
Group,
Me
yeah.
traveling around by myself with my suitcase
Yeah.
staying at the
Yeah.
Bananas and
Yeah,
being
I can see
alone.
that.
I did not. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Where was the Bananas?
Poughkeepsie, I
Yeah.
think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Wow.
Oh, I did
There was a
do.
club up there? I didn't know that.
I did do. What is the comedy club in Philadelphia? Oh my God. I don't know if it's still there. It's on the tip of my tongue. I did a weekend there. That was great actually because I got to go home.
Zanies? Helium?
No. Catch a Rising Star.
Oh, okay.
Catch a Rising Star.
Was that Philly or Jersey? Or they were both?
It was definitely Philly, and I think there's one in each.
Jersey, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good. That because I could go back home. So driving
Okay.
there and driving back wasn't so bad. So
Okay.
yeah.
What about performing where like a name or two is in the audience?
In the audience, you mean like, I don't.
Like okay, so like did Colin Quinn ever see you perform?
Did he ever see me do stand
Stand
up?
up, yeah. Or maybe or Patrice?
No.
No. Oh,
No. I don't think so.
okay.
And
But
how-
they knew
Oh,
you.
you know who? Jim Gaffigan. He definitely saw me do. I dated him too.
No.
I did.
No.
I did. Yeah. I dated
Damn,
Jim
and now he
Gaffigan.
has 5 kids.
He has 5 kids.
Wow.
We
you
never-
dated Jim Gaffigan.
We didn't do that.
She has a very wide palette.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, the
to
Jim
Gaffigan.
Gaffigan.
That's
Oh my God,
two
I
sides of the
always say
spectrum.
if
Jim
you
Norton
s-
in the middle.
Yeah, Jim Norton. If you saw all the other ones,
Oh, geez.
you'd be like, wow, she's really, yeah,
So you have a non-discriminatory dating palette.
100%.
Okay. Wow,
It's about
cool.
the person.
Did he
Sure.
give you like feedback, Jim Gaffigan?
Yes. He, we did a show once. Okay, this was one of those.
This is
Oh.
around the time of the Hot Pockets bit, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Was he big?
That-
Was he like becoming a
Yeah,
star?
yeah. I went to one of his half-hour tapings for Comedy Central.
Did he do the Hot Pockets thing yet? That's when
did
he
the
became,
Hot-
that made him a
yep.
star. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hot Pockets and his joke about the manatee, like, the manatee of the ocean. I don't remember how the joke was, but
Well, he
his
said
favorite joke.
Manatees just look like old fat guys in Florida with flip-flops.
No, but that wasn't the joke. But
Yeah,
yeah, they
something
do.
like
That they're the whatevers of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ocean. I don't know. I don't remember.
I saw real quick. I saw Jim Gaffigan live with my wife before I started doing stand-up at the Garden. And you know, towards the end, people start yelling it, and he has to do it, and he goes into the whole 5-minute Hot Pocket routine
he
perfectly, just like he does it. And he said in an interview, he's like, I like doing it because it makes people happy.
I get it. Yeah, because some people
Yeah,
frown upon it,
that's
like,
a
oh,
cool
I don't.
thing.
It's not comedy. I'm like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yes. So that was 2001 when I dated him, and he was still a little bit going around to open mics and stuff, a little
Really?
bit. And we went to an open mic together. But oh no, that wasn't when I was at Caroline's, and
Was this
He
before
was-
his sexual abuse allegations or after?
what?
Just kidding, guys. Relax.
Oh, I
Lighten
was
the
like,
mood.
oh my God, he's such a nice guy. I would never want.
For now.
He's
a
like,
nice guy for now.
No, he was. He was a good
I'm
guy.
bad, Jim.
No, I said that because there are some comedians who got in trouble for that. So that happens. That's
Louis-
happened.
Louis
Louis,
got in trouble.
I don't know who else.
I mean, but none of those people.
some
It
other
was
names, too.
surprise. No, they weren't surprises.
But
You know what I mean?
finish right. Let's you met Louis too,
Okay.
but let's do Jim first. I don't know if you met Louis.
Met Louis?
When I met Louis, I was working at the comic strip at this
For
time.
people
wow.
listening, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Yes. Louis
Comic.
C.K.
Okay, so let's start. So finish Jim because I got to.
Okay, I was doing one of those-
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let her finish Jim. I got someone at comics.
Okay, the Monday. Now, Caroline's had a Monday night bringer show, and I did. You could get a video. It was great because it could have 350 people, and if you had a good set, you had a great tape.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, Jim was the headliner for that show, but I did the show and I did great. Like I got, and he was like, this was after we weren't dating anymore, but maybe we were still a little bit dating. Anyway, we hung out after and we went for like joke for joke. I was doing jokes and he was doing a joke, and he was like, "Wow, it's amazing that you can translate. You can translate to the audience who you are," which
Wow.
is a hard part, I think,
Yeah,
for people for stand-up, which I didn't know that until after I bottomed out from drinking and drugging and like lost all my comedy and acting
Is
and
that what
stuff.
happened?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
totally what
no.
happened. And then I came back and I was like, this is fucking hard. Like it was hard to come back. Like I wasn't.
How long were you out of the scene? Tell me when you bottomed out, when you left comedy.
Okay, so I got married in 2005. That was my attempt to get sober. I thought if I got married and got a computer, then I would be better. Yeah, which is not.
I got married in 2005 too.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
But you probably knew who you married.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
not
yeah,
know
yeah,
who I
yeah.
married. We had been dating for 6 weeks and we got married.
Oh, geez.
And we started a band together. Anyway, that didn't work out.
We dated 5 years. Yeah.
yeah, oh.
Engaged for 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. You're right. That's better. You know someone better when
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. We celebrated 19 years yesterday.
Oh, I saw that. Yay. Yay. Anyway, so then that marriage didn't work out. That was at the beginning. No, we got married at the end of 2005. 2006, he left. He left me, which is like.
You're laughing.
Because I mean, you know how fucked up you have to be in order to have someone else who's a complete disaster be like, "You are such a piece of shit. I'm leaving." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how bad I was. That he was like, I gotta get out of here.
Holy
This isn't working for
shit.
me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real. You gotta take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
It's like if you pick up a bum, start dating him, and he's like, "Listen, this
You got to
is
get your act together.
That was
We're gonna have
almost.
we're gonna have to end this."
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know, you're
that
bad
was
for your-
bad for
almost
my health.
what it was, unfortunately. Okay, anyway, so from 2007 to I'd say the beginning of 2011, I got sober in 2009. So beginning of 2011, I started getting back in. I started doing open mics again. So it was
But
out.
how long were you out of comedy? 2 years, 3 years?
Like,
No,
like
7,
4 years.
8, 9, 10, 11, probably 5
That's
years.
a long time, right?
Oh, I mean, it was.
When you came back, did it feel like you're starting all over again, or it feels like you're picking up a little bit, but you're a little rusty? How does it feel?
No, it felt like I was starting all over again.
Really?
Oh.
Everyone that I started with like Jessica Kirsten, Marina Franklin. They all were moving way forward, and I was. Not that there was no competition. It's
Right,
just
right,
I
right. But
just
just
was.
yeah.
I had completely stopped, and I had gotten sober and was like, "Wow, I ruined my life." You know what I mean? And I wasn't the same like bubbly, like funny. I was a different person, and I was not. It was rough.
But
Didn't have the
listen,
same connections anymore.
You're one of the funniest comedians.
Aw.
You're one of the funniest comedians I've ever seen. You're hilarious. That's why we ask you on shows, and that's legit.
Thank
you. Know?
I mean, I worked really hard, and
Yeah.
it was very humbling. It was very humbling, and I could see how people could be scared to do it.
Yeah.
Because the first time around, I was like, it's easy, it's fun, I write, I do comedy, I'm out every night, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then when I got back, I was like, oh my God, I have to rewrite everything, and it's scary to be completely sober.
Which do you find fulfilling though?
Oh, I mean, more fulfilling?
More fulfilling, yeah.
Oh, now the fact that,
see?
I mean, no one can ever take it away from me, ever.
Yeah.
So
Like,
we're
no
all
one-
going to be in a movie together. Do you're
Oh,
an
yeah,
actress.
that's right.
That's
Do you
right.
like? What do you like the most now? Or you like it all? Acting,
I like it all.
comedy?
I love it all. And honestly, I was thinking when you wrote to me after I didn't get that audition yesterday that I didn't even really care about, but I was still completely offended that I didn't book it. So ridiculous. But and you were like, oh, is tomorrow too soon? And I was like, definitely not.
Yeah.
Palate cleanser. Let's.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is what acting and comedy has done for me all along, is one makes the other one better. And when I did come back, what I did do is I started studying with a different acting teacher. I started studying with Wynn Handman, who actually first I started with Billy Lyons, his assistant, and I sort of unthawed from being frozen from getting sober and stuff.
Are they
And then-
affiliated with schools? With certain schools?
No,
or no?
but
They're just
but
independent
Wynn,
acting teachers.
yes, Wynn Handman has taught, I mean, a million
names,
Oscar-winning actors. I mean, he was a legend, truly.
Okay.
And first I started with Billy, then I started with Wynn, and that changed everything. That was when I really saw myself completely differently. It was great studying with Carol, but with Wynn, it was like I had a real craft. Like it was like grown-up time. So it got real different.
And
Yeah.
you were mentioning about comic strip,
Yeah.
because what happened was I used to do the comic strip open mic
Oh.
with Gladys
Oh
Moskowitz,
yeah, I've done
right?
Gladys. Yeah.
Now she's Gladys Simon.
Yeah.
And
Oh wait, what was her name then?
Gladys Moskowitz.
Oh, it was Moskowitz.
Yeah, because
I
I
never
remember
knew that.
I called up and I asked about him, right? When she first brought me up, she said, this guy calling the phone. I thought this was this stuck-up white guy. Right? It turns out
You sound like a stuck-up white guy.
that's what she said. But then she was like, but it turns out it was this handsome black guy. Please welcome David Beckham Jr. Right?
Oh, even your name
Goes-
kind of sounds like a stuck-up white guy.
I was all because I was all squeaky clean, like squeaky clean, throughout. And I was like, she told me, she's like, she's like, everybody just is interested in getting the Comedy Central half-hour special, and they don't really learn comedy. She's like, if you stick with me, I'll teach you how to craft and blah blah. That's what she said. But I had to have $10 after every Tuesday because I had just left my job.
Also, I mean, but what she said I think is so smart is not presenting yourself too soon.
Right.
Because then they
Right.
remember you as someone who's not that great.
Right.
And then
Oh, so what are
in
you
the
talking
industry.
about? What do you mean exactly? Getting in front of like
Industry
no.
people.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
the whole thing. And
You don't have a craft. You don't have a
so-
voice. You
I
don't
remember.
have-
I remember I went to.
You're not solid.
I did too. I forget a lot of places I've done, open mics. Eastville Comedy Club I went to. Eastville in the city on 4th Street. I did a mic there one Saturday. I had a couple people in. And the guy or whatever, he was like, yeah, you want to do a show here next Tuesday? Just bring 5 people? I was like,
Yeah.
oh. I was like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate bringers. I freaking hate bringers. I hate bringers. I hate bringers. I'm sorry.
I think I have an opinion about bringers, but I think they're just a necessity right now because
get it.
that's just that business plan. I think
Yeah.
bringers are usually they're not A clubs, they're not the worst clubs.
But here's the
But
thing
bringers
about
bringers, they don't have talent, so they have to get
I mean, I
comedians
did
to bring
bringers.
people.
But here's the thing though, the comic strip. Whenever you're there, it still feels great if you to get up on that stage.
But those
right?
people are a draw. Bringer shows are usually like,
But not always
New
though.
York
They
comics,
don't
Yeah.
only have
yeah.
bringers because again in the '80s that was a club because you didn't have all these different clubs back then.
Right.
Did
You didn't have.
I did some barking.
You just bark for the crowd.
You-
The audience barking is what?
There, when you stand on the street and you're like, hey, there's a show in a half
Yeah,
hour.
so-
Hey, there's
Come,
a show.
shout,
in a-
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a show
And then
in
you
a
get to
half
perform
hour.
depending on how many tickets.
And it's
you sell.
usually clubs will talk you into doing that, right?
Yeah, but I I
Well-
did it down Christopher Street, but I also did it uptown. It was I forgot New York Underground. That's what
Okay.
Yeah,
But there
I was terrible at it.
there was
That's why I started producing shows.
the comic strip back in the day because we didn't have phones with cameras and video. When an Eddie Murphy or Rick Fox or Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh,
George
because they
Wallace-
recorded everything at the strip.
Yeah.
Yes.
It had to be there. Either you had to be there to take it in,
Yeah.
or if they made a tape,
Yeah.
then you had to watch or listen. But now you got everybody with filming their own stuff, and that's that. It's funny.
But they still film stuff
Right
at the
now-
comic strip. They have
Right now,
a
Colin
camera.
would say David made it about him. No, hold on a second. No, listen, Dave.
He
we
did.
Got, look how angry. Look, he looks a little mad. I love that. I just, just kidding.
No.
We have to.
No,
we have
no.
only 12 minutes. That's how long it's been. That's why we have to. Exactly. That's why I stopped, Dave. Not because I was being an
Terrence
a-hole.
is like,
But I do enjoy being an a-hole.
That's how much time we got for real talk?
Yeah, about 20. So listen, and I have a couple of things. So let's, because you're kind of not all the way at the end of your story. So you came back from the drinking.
Right.
You've been sober since.
Right.
I've been
Right?
sober since, yeah.
And
Funny as shit.
When did you move
I
up
get
here
it.
to Westchester?
2015, the end, it was like December 15th, 2015.
So you started kind of from scratch again in what year? 2011.
Yeah.
2011, and it was like very slow. Like I was
And
like,
then
oh,
that guy you divorced, right? The first husband.
oh yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
obviously.
By 2008, I think we were.
And you've been
divorced.
doing comedy in the city, but how long you been here? Sorry, in West 2015.
Yeah, since
Oh, so you've been here
2015.
already 9 years. And how?
By 2015, I had a manager. I had
Manager for comedy or for acting?
for acting, and so
Okay.
I was going out on lots of auditions. And then I got a commercial agent, and something about moving out here, I started booking stuff. Like I booked a movie, and then I booked a couple commercials
Out here.
out here.
While
yeah,
living out here.
no, but from in the,
The city.
Yeah, but while
I was
living
going-
out here, yeah.
Yeah, while living
Okay,
out here, I
okay.
was going, and then what I was doing was I would drive into the city in the morning and go to auditions, and I would come back out, and I was tutoring in the afternoon, and then I would go back in and perform at night. Oh,
So why?
that
Let me ask
to
you this.
remind me to go to Chipotle.
Wow, let's just stop the podcast for Chipotle.
Chipotle.
This
Extra
podcast is brought to you by
beans.
Like I'm gonna
Chipotle.
forget
No, it's
where I
not.
want to go for dinner.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But no, it's
But I have a question. How? So you're okay. So what you're talking about?
And I started producing a show
Why
at
did you
the
leave
new.
the city? Why did you leave the city for Westchester?
Oh, for Dawn. I moved to Dawn.
That's it.
Okay.
See
Yeah.
that?
I moved to Dawn. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was always out here.
He was always out here.
Where'd you meet
yeah.
your husband? Where'd you meet him?
It was a blind date.
Really?
Yeah.
Set up?
Yep. Total setup.
Oh, he's
And
not a comedian.
He's not a comedian. Oh my God, I would shoot myself if he was.
Me and Shauna were texting one night for like an hour, joking about. We had some hilarious text conversations. What did you? I love what you said. You're like, I would never date a comedian. Who else would listen to my? You can't have somebody more than one narcissist in a relationship.
Yes. I
You
was
need
like-
somebody to listen to your nonsense or
Yes,
something like that.
if he talked to me as much as I talk about myself, I couldn't handle it. My head would explode.
Yeah.
There's only one person can obsessively be. What did you think about? When
Here's
I
how
said
every
that, what did you
conversation
think
with my
about?
wife ends. Ready? Every conversation after 20 minutes ends like this. I listened to your bullshit for the last 20 minutes, and now you interrupt me after I talk about my life for a minute? Okay. Guess who the a-hole was? Me.
So let me, I wanted to ask you this. You know, you said earlier that a lot of people think he's like, you know, the basis for being a comedian is traumatic childhood or traumatic childhood. But do you believe, and lots of people have that philosophy, right? Even these days, people, you know, feel that comedians are like they hold a mirror up to society.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah?
think that's one of
But you think that's
comedians' jobs is to do that. Like, you know, Tom Shalhoub's still up there. He's, you know, reflecting back society.
Listen,
The way
you
he
know what
does it.
comedy-
Well, hold on,
listen,
but
okay.
I don't know
Is it
that
all-
I do that.
no, that's what I'm saying.
I
But
think-
every comedian doesn't do that. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So to answer your question,
Right.
you know, I was talking to my wife about this.
Right.
Comedy started, you know what the original comedy was? It wasn't 200 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever. Comedy started with jesters in king's courts, and they were the only ones that were allowed to talk to the king and make fun of the king without getting their head chopped off.
Right.
Only one. They brought the truth that everybody was, and that the jesters made the crowd, the masses who were unhappy, happy. Because they're like, oh yeah, they feel like that too. They kind of felt heard without saying, because you came up and said it, you get your head chopped off.
And that's
so the only guy. That's what we are. We're supposed to be. We're supposed to mirror to society and the bullshit going
and the
on
truth,
in politics,
whatever
and
the
this and that, or
yes,
whatever.
But
and
no,
whatever truth is.
But
That's
I, from my observation,
yeah.
I think everybody wants to do that. Every comic, or they want to be truthful about the same damn thing. And
Yeah.
it kind of gets repetitive in my humble estimation. That's
Yes.
my opinion. I'm like, so I go a different route. I talk about me,
Yes.
you know, and how I see things. And,
Like me
and-
But
Yeah.
no, but I also believe I'm a huge believer in you write what you know,
Yeah.
and you talk about what you know,
Yeah.
and if what you know is you,
Yeah.
do that.
So
And-
that leads me to my next question, which
Yeah.
was, how do you feel about political comics? You think comics should talk about politics?
oh,
You think they
absolutely.
should?
I think you should
Absolutely.
talk about whatever you feel
Whatever,
passionate,
whatever makes you
you're
happy
interested-
as a comic.
100%. Oh my God.
It's just hard.
And what I always say, Don and because he's a huge fan of comedy
Mm-hmm.
and he listens to Howard Stern every day. He's always listening to Jim and Sam. He loves comedy. And we always say, the only thing that's offensive in comedy is telling a joke that isn't funny. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like
There's nothing
if you can
offensive.
talk about anything, okay, I'm not into pedophile stuff. I don't think that's funny. Like that to me is like
I got some good pedophile jokes.
okay, that to me is like a
I'm not into
no-go.
Pedophilia,
Any-
bestiality, and don't make fun of God.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, well
I
that
say God.
I don't
Nothing
know.
is off the table. Dave.
I've heard some funny bestiality joke. No, I don't know. I've never really heard anybody do that.
Damon Wayans was like, I don't do God jokes because I don't want God doing Damon jokes.
He said that?
He said
Oh my God, how
that.
funny.
Said that. So
All right. So anyway, I think if it is just like Big J. He can say that.
Big J Oberson.
Yeah, and I used to see him all the time at the comic strip. He and his friend, he had this joke about it's a bestiality joke. Anyway, I won't say it. Anyway,
I
it's
know
really,
the joke.
It's really, really funny.
It's hilarious. I've
so
seen it. It's
funny.
online.
He
It's
is
hilarious.
so funny.
Don't get me wrong. I know there could be funny jokes. I'm saying this for me personally. But if a joke is funny, I mean it's funny. You know, definitely. For
If
sure.
you can make it funny, it's funny. That's the only.
That's a
but
skill.
but to just talk and think that you're
You know,
funny
the whole
is
point, this is another thing. So my wife will one day hopefully be a guest on this. She's a clinical psychologist. And what she says is humor, and I heard actually, you know who was talking about this? Isn't it called gallows humor? You talk about it because it's painful to talk about it. So you make fun of it to bring out the pain because it's too painful to talk
Yes.
about. That's the reason we talk about painful things.
And you know how I was saying I was a
Right?
people pleaser before we sat
yeah,
down?
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that is part of what comedy does for me is this is the one place where I get to say what I actually think, like what I actually feel, what I actually believe about stuff. My opinion, my voice, that's it. This is one of the only places where I feel comfortable to do that and where it's funny.
If you
know
don't
what
feel
I mean?
comfortable on shows with Caribbean comics, you should tell the world that. Go.
So now in today's landscape of comedy, who are your favorites? Or some people
Who
that
are
you
my
like?
favorites?
you know,
I
name
love
it.
Maria Bamford.
Okay.
To me, because she's so
is.
off the wall.
Dude, it's quirky. Quirk City. Maria is
She
hilarious.
translates who she is completely. She did that. I was watching a
Hilarious.
special. She said, "Oh, I had, because in 2000 I had an eating disorder," and then she just passed out on the floor. She, whatever, and she finally gets back up and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, so bored by my own narrative." So funny.
I like when she starts talking about science and people believe in certain things. She goes, science, if there is such a thing as science.
So, I love her.
Oh yeah, who else? We got
Who
3
else?
minutes. We got 3 minutes.
Oh my
Time
God,
to say
who
it.
else am I watching? Because we watch all the Netflix specials. Oh my God, I love. Oh my God, how am I going to forget what his name is right now? It can't possibly be
What does he look
happening.
like? Describe him.
Well, he's bald right now. He was a redhead. Oh,
Oh,
my
Bill
God.
Burr.
I mean, I love Bill Burr. I
That's
love.
one of the reasons I started comedy. I love the dude.
He's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And what both of them do is they're just. It's like what Shakespeare ever was.
Right.
They're just using words and a microphone and making a whole thing.
Did you
It's
guys ever watch the
unbelievable.
podcast
The
of-
craft, the writing.
So I've been following Bill Burr's podcast. I've listened to every one of his podcasts for at least the last 10 years since he started. I actually listened to every one. I went back and listened to ones that I didn't, And Bill Burr's best ever podcast was with John Lovitz.
Yeah.
That was his highest rated one when he interviewed John Lovitz.
I'm
Have you
gonna
heard
listen.
it?
Yeah,
I've been
yeah, it's
listening to
fun.
Dax Shepard's
Oh my
Armchair
God! They went
Expert.
at it. They went
Yeah.
at it for a full hour, making fun of each other.
Yeah.
And Lovitz just goes, "Let me do Burrs. Let me do Burrs. Here's your comedy. Ready? Here's your comedy."
Yeah.
Look at that. He just never. They were just going back at each other until see who could break who.
It's
Great
funny.
podcast. Great.
That's
listen.
awesome. Right now I'm a big fan of Godfrey.
Oh yeah.
Godfrey.
So
Yep. What about you?
Ridiculously underrated.
All these guys, everybody we're talking about. I've listened
Yeah.
to. I don't know. The first comedian I ever listened to was Andrew Dice Clay. I was a 14-year-old kid,
Oh wow.
and I had to hide the cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Or I would get in trouble because it was filth.
For
it was
me,
filthy.
it was Eddie
and
Murphy.
and Murphy too. Murphy.
But I didn't.
yeah.
I growing up could listen to that strict religious.
I had to
But
hide
here,
the
my parents are a little more liberal, so I was 18 at the time, so I could definitely get it. And I remember listening to that bit about falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
And Puerto Rican and Goonie Google.
Yeah.
And I literally had to stop the tape several times because I couldn't breathe from laughing. Oh. That's what I want to do when I'm on stage. That's what I want to get to.
The podcast is over. We had a
geez.
great guest.
Oh my
We
God.
had a
this
great
was
guest.
fun.
Give
Thank
us
you.
your-
but
how do we
before we go,
contact
how do we
Instagram?
see you on
I'm
Instagram?
Lane Shauna on Instagram, LaneShauna, and I have a website, ShaunaLane.com
Okay.
that I need to revamp a little, but yeah.
And that's your comedy stuff.
He's,
Yeah, that's my
he's
comedy
Alex
stuff.
Cola.
right? At Big Alex Comedy.
I'm David Beckles Jr. at BlackRock Dave. Yeah.
And this was
And
awesome.
hey, man, tell your friends. Tell your friends you got a great podcast. Tune in. Share. Please write us. Tell us anything. Go on Spotify, Velvet Sugar Podcast. Leave a comment.
And
on
Shauna
YouTube.
will do a comedy show with Caribbean comics, but I won't. That's the thing. But
I
that's just
might.
me.
Yeah,
Think
because Russians are weird. I don't like the way they make fun of
I'm
these
not.
people.
I'm rushing out of here.
Like, I'm not Russian.
Thank you guys.
But thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been episode number 6.